Hello and welcome to Caring for Me, Caring for You, a thought and a prayer for the week. Yes, I want to welcome you to Villa ANGGREK, which means the Orchid Villa. It's been the name of my residence in Bali for many, many years. And yes, I've just arrived this past week, and so that's why I didn't have the opportunity to speak with you last weekend. And this week, I'm doing it a bit earlier. I'm taping Friday afternoon in Bali because we are about to celebrate and prepare for the new year. And I'm going to talk with you a little bit about that because one of the topics we've talked about so often is times of high spiritual energy. And that is going on right now with Lent in the Christian tradition. Passover is very, very soon. And here in Bali, now Bali is one of 17,000 plus islands that make up the archipelago of Indonesia. Indonesia itself is the world's largest Muslim country, and we can learn much about a very beautiful faith tradition by looking at the Muslim tradition of Indonesia. I've been blessed with that for many, many years. This is my 166th visit to Indonesia, and I'm here working with the Sahaja Foundation that Donnie and I had the privilege of creating to bring family caregiving into villages and into areas where it was extremely needed and where there was very great lack of electricity and Wi-Fi. But let me go back. Indonesia is the world's largest Muslim country. As I say, over 17,000 islands, of which 6,000 are inhabited. And over the years, I've been blessed to see travel to many, many of the islands. Actually, east to west, Indonesia is greater distance than continental America. If you put America on top of the archipelago, Indonesia would stretch farther. And I'm just sharing a few of these things because I want you to understand it. So Indonesia is the world's largest Muslim country. Bali is a Hindu island. And so right at this moment, there is enormous spiritual energy happening. And frankly, there's always high spiritual energy here in Bali because the curtain, the veil between the planes, is very narrow. And I have found that to be a great blessing and a great comfort on many occasions, certainly when we lost our son nearly 20 years ago. Bali is a Hindu island. And right now, the rest of Indonesia is celebrating Ramadan. Now, there are many Muslims living in Bali, but Hindu is the predominant religion in Bali. The rest of Indonesia is celebrating Ramadan and preparing for Eid, which will be in just a few days, which is the culmination of a month of fasting, of prayer time. What do we do with Lent? A time of fasting and prayer time, making room for going within, healing. Oh, and how we need that in this world. Now, here in Bali, there's a very special tradition going on, and it's the reason I'm taping in a very quiet spot. It is now Friday afternoon, and very slowly things are beginning to close down. This evening there will be a festival all over the island called Oga Oga, and it's lots of crazy, crazy statues who are coming to wipe away the evil spirits, as it were, and there will be parades and that sort of thing. And once Oga Oga finishes, we will go into silence. Yes, can you imagine? The airport is closed. The ATMs are closed. All of the businesses are closed. We will remain very quiet. I'm in the hotel situation. It's where the villa is located. But we will cook very quietly, and we have prepared food. The staff has prepared food so that tomorrow we who are not Hindu can have something to eat. Because what do the Hindus do? And I'll tell you why they're doing it. The festival that we're celebrating is called Niepi. It is the end of the year. And at the end of the year, there is the day of silence, Niepi. And during that day, it's a day of fasting, a day of quiet, no work, a day of reflection, a day of prayer, and a day of looking within for renewal. Because when the sun comes up on Sunday, remember, this is Friday, we have the great festival of Oga Oga. Saturday is the silent day, Niepi. And when the sun comes up on Sunday morning, a new year begins. And it begins with joy, with gratitude, with resolution to things past, not carrying all the burdens along, but having made peace in the quiet day. So, folks, there is so much spiritual energy going on all around the world in the insanity that is also taking place. Don't give in to fear and the insanity of humanity. Every one of us, in all of the theologies, we are not human beings trying to have a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. But in each of the traditions, whatever yours might be, consider looking at another one as well. Step back, reconnect with the spark of the divine within you, whether it's God, Allah, Yahweh, higher power, universe, energy, I don't care what word it is. At the divinity within you. And let us commit to live and walk in whom we live and move and have our being. That divine source of energy, for me, I use the word God, in whom we live and move and have our being. And each of us, may we be renewed to the reason we were sent down here. Each of our thumbprints are as unique as our journeys. Before we were sent, it was ordained. And it was sanctified. I like that verse, those verses in Jeremiah. Our mission remains. The insanity that's going on will not last. Because love prevails. It's going to be difficult. It is difficult. But let's walk in love and remain true to the power within. We are not human beings trying to have a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And we were meant to be here. And it's the reason I'm here in Indonesia. Because Donnie and I are totally committed, for whatever time we have on this earth, to uniting the world in caregiving. Sadly, religions and governments have not done well in uniting the people. Caregiving does unite, because what's at the root of caregiving is love. So grab onto this spiritual energy. Grab onto love. Grab onto the divinity within your humanity. This is just a covering for the soul. Let's walk in the soul and in the spirit as we renew. And appropriately, from a book that we've been using, Peace Be Still, Prayers and Affirmations for Family Caregivers, that was written by yours truly and Reverend Marian Gambardella. The prayer for today, and perhaps every day, is renewal. Take a deep breath. Oh Lord, thank you. When the pressures, the fears, the distractions of this worldly material life become too much for me, I can stop. Take a few very focused breaths, claim my spiritual being, and begin my day all over in partnership with you, O precious and ever-present God. I hear you call. Be still and know that I am God. I need to hear that message again and again. Be still and know that I am God. Yes, you are God, and every time I forget, I get into such difficulties physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Thus, at this moment, with joy, gratitude, and happiness, I begin my day anew in you. Amen and amen. Thank you for joining me here in the island of the gods. That's what Bali is known for. And I hope that at some point in your life, you are blessed to come here to one of the most spiritual places that I have ever known. I was very blessed with my late husband. It was he who was in tourism, and when I graduated from seminary, there certainly was no place for me. An openly gay man? No, not in 1970. But God had bigger and other plans. I was supposed to meet more of his children. And boy, did I get to meet them. Because with Joe, it was on to the next place, and the next place. And then ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, was being born. And for 30 years, Greg Johnson Associates was a player in that. I had the privilege of being on the board of the tourism association that began all of that work. And so I've been blessed to know so many of the nations, so many of the people, so many of the traditions, the religions. And I have been richly blessed as I have prayed and worshiped with all of them. And then when I began doing family caregiving, we were invited here to Indonesia to explore how we could deal and help them with the aging population. Now that continues, and through our wonderful work with CARE CFA, we are working on the international alliances, allowing groups of persons to talk one with the other. And we have some exciting things happening. God is very good. And so as we come to this particular time of year, Lent and Easter, Passover, Ramadan and Eid, Nyepi and the New Year, may it be a new beginning for you. And as we said in the prayer, at any moment we need to, we can stop and start over again. You are not alone, nor am I. Thank you for being with me, and as we always say, onward in love and caregiving. Namaste. God bless, and I'll talk to you from Bali real soon.